What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm down at Lake Norman Hyundai getting to check out the 2021 Hyundai Sonata N Line. Huge shout out to them for providing this sedan for me today. Make sure you guys check out their website. That link will be down in the description below. This model here is finished off in Phantom Black. It has an MSRP just under $35,000. Let's go ahead and start off today's review by jumping up underneath the hood, where you'll find the 2.5 liter 4-cylinder turbocharged engine. This is paired with the 8-speed automatic transmission, and it pumps out 290 horsepower, around 5,800 RPM, and 311 pound-feet of torque as low as 1,600 RPM. This model is front-wheel drive. It weighs in right around 3,500 pounds. It'll do 0 to 60 in just over 5 seconds, up to its top speed of 150 miles an hour. And with a fuel capacity of 14.8 gallons, you can expect to see around 23 miles per gallon in the city and 33 out on the highway. This has a wheelbase of 111.8 inches. Its overall length is 192.9. It has a width of 73.2 and a height of 56.9 inches. And with all those specs out of the way, we can go ahead and take a look at the exterior on the Hyundai Sonata. So I'm gonna go ahead and start off with the DRLs because this is a really cool feature. You can see from this angle right now, we have the DRL in the upper section there. It's just on the outside of the hood, but it's also a continuation from the side window trim. So you'll see that line run down the entire side profile, and it makes its way and splits off to the DRL here. And then we also have a DRL in the lower section of the headlight housing that also acts as the turn signal, and of course this does have LED headlights. Now we can look at another unique feature is this grille. It has a really nice design to it. It's very wide and narrow at the same time. But you'll see in the center, we have a lot of cutouts to provide cooling to that turbocharged engine. There's also the Hyundai badge, along with a forward-facing sensor just underneath that. And then in the lower section of the bumper, there's really nice fins and trim pieces on both sides. And then the lower section of the bumper has really nice contoured lines to it as well. And then last up, as we make our way back up to the hood, you'll see there are 2 lines running right down the center, just to give it that added aggressive touch. Making our way to the side profile now for the Hyundai Sonata. I'm going to start off with these wheels. They measure 19 inches. They also have a really unique interwoven design to them, along with a 2-tone finish. I think it looks great against this exterior Phantom Black. This model also has a sport tuned suspension. You'll see the N badge just behind the front tires. And this model also has upgraded brake rotors. You get a little bit bigger size over the standard model. This also has body colored side mirrors. They're power folding, feature the integrated turn signal. And then up top, this has a full panoramic sunroof. You can see it operating right now. You'll also notice all of the chrome window trim surrounding the windows, of course. And then as I mentioned earlier, that lower line continues all the way to the hood, giving it a really cool side profile look. You'll also notice there's really nice contoured lines running down the side profile. There's one that starts right at the N Line badge, and it continues above the door handles all the way to the rear taillights. And then in the lower section of the door, you'll see the side skirts poke out just a little bit. And then finishing up in the rear for the Hyundai Sonata, I think a really nice design element is the fact that these LED taillights are actually integrated into the trunk-mounted spoiler. So you'll see this portion right in the middle that combines them, just giving it a really cool look. This also has aerodynamic fins on the top, of course, to help improve with better airflow. You'll also notice the entire ring will light up when you turn the lights on. So I'm sure this is a great illumination to see at nighttime, but it's really nice how that goes right through the power trunk. Of course, this also has LED turn signals. You'll see the Hyundai badge right in the center, along with an integrated backup camera and Sonata spelled out in the lower section. And then down below in the lower diffuser, you'll see a few fins just to add to that aggressive look. And this also is sporting the quasi stainless steel dual exhaust. Now it's time to go ahead and take a look at the interior on the Hyundai Sonata. Before we do that though, this model does have remote start. So I'm gonna go ahead and lock the vehicle, hold on this button on the lower section of the key fob, and this will automatically start up. It's a really nice feature to have. If you hold on this, it will automatically shut off as well. But now with the vehicle locked and the key in my pocket, all I have to do is walk up to the vehicle, you'll hear it automatically unlock, and we can go ahead and look at this door panel, where you'll see really nice black leather along with red stitching. There's a black chrome trim piece that runs in the upper section, and that splits off into the release handle, just giving it a really clean look. This model also has the 12-speaker Bose audio sound system. You'll see just above the speaker, we have all of the window controls along with the side mirror adjustments. And on the back side of the armrest is the grab handle. So basically you just grab this entire thing, which is really clean. You don't see an exposed handle. And then in the lower section of the door, there's a good amount of storage space. And then making our way to the interior now, you'll see these really beautiful sport bucket seats. They have a combination of leather and suede. You'll see the N badge right in the center, along with red piping and red stitching, which runs down the bolsters. Have a really good amount of support to them. And then down on the side, we have all of the automatic controls. And now once inside the vehicle with my foot on the brake, we can go ahead and start it up. And now looking at the 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster, you can see over on the left side is the miles per hour and fuel gauge. On the right side is the tach and the engine temperature. And then right in the center, there's a few different pages you can go through. Right now we're looking at some gauges, so you can pull up some vital information. If I push on this button on the right side of the steering wheel, now we can pull up the distance pacing. You can pull up the compass as well. And then you can also look at some other vitals like your TPMS. You also have your trip information as well. You can look at your attention level, so when you need to pull over and take a break. And now as we work our way to the steering wheel, you'll see it's completely covered in leather. It's solid on the top and the bottom and perforated on the sides. You can see more of that red stitching on the inside, just gives it a really nice touch. Over on the right side of the steering wheel, this is the button that I was using to control that information on the gauges, along with all the cruise and adaptive cruise control settings. Over on the left side are all of your voice commands along with your Bluetooth. You have volume and modes for the radio. And then this model also has these steering wheel mounted paddle shifters. They're finished off in more of that black chrome to give it a really nice design. As we work our way to the left side of the steering wheel now, you can see the electronic parking brake along with the lane keeping assist. We have traction control along with being able to open the power trunk and a dimmer switch for the gauges. There's also one air vent. And then as we make our way to the center, we have the 10.2-inch screen where you'll see there's a lot of information you can go through. Basically right now we are on the home screen where you'll see navigation, radio, and weather. You can also scroll over and look at a lot more apps. So you can go into your voice memo, your setup, you have radio and media. There's also shortcuts on the sides of the screen. So if you'd like to pull up the map or the navigation to go through all of that information, you can. You can quickly get to the home screen if you'd like to. There's also a favorites button just underneath, so you can set that to what you use the most, which is really nice to see. There's also power and volume for the radio on the left side, and then over on the right side there's radio and media along with your setup, track, and seek. You'll see just underneath that there are two air vents along with the hazard button right in the center. And then we have all the climate controls. So you'll see this does have a dual zone climate system. You can easily control the passenger and driver. We have the fan speed right in the center along with where you'd like the air to go. And then these outer toggle switches are for the heated seats. So you have 3 different settings. You can quickly get to those, which is really nice to see. And then we have a few buttons for some other features surrounding that. And then just underneath that, you'll see a 12 volt along with 2 USB ports. And this is also a wireless charging pad as well. So you can see that pad on the right side. And then just behind that, we have all the buttons for the gear selector. So with my foot on the brake, I can go ahead and push on the R. You'll see the backup camera up here for reverse along with the guidelines as well. And then of course we have neutral drive and park over on the left side. Just behind that, you'll see the different driving modes. So by toggling this switch here, we can go into custom. There's Sport Plus, Sport, and Normal. And you'll also notice the gauge clusters change depending on the mode that you're in. So it's really cool to see the miles per hour and the tach change. You'll see in Sport and Sport Plus, the backgrounds are also carbon fiber. You'll also notice the auto hold button just below that. And then we have 2 cup holders and a small slot in the middle. You could place your phone or something small like that. As we work our way to the center armrest, you'll see it's covered in more leather and stitching. And there's a good amount of storage space for any items that have to go there. As we make our way to the glove box now, you'll see there's a lot more room for all the information that has to go there. We'll go ahead and take one last look at these seats. They have a really nice design to them. And then as I mentioned earlier, this has a full moonroof, so we can go ahead and open up the sunshade and open up the sunroof at the same time. You have all those controls up in the center here, along with the dome lights. Jumping into the back seats now of the Hyundai Sonata, I really love how the attention to detail for the back seats is just like we saw up front. We have that same two-tone design, and it feels very spacious for 3 people to be back here. There's also a lot of room for me in this seat here. At 5'10", I have the front seat set at my height, and I have several inches in front of my knees, and the headliner actually dips back up, giving me 2 or 3 inches of headroom. So like I said, it's very spacious in the back. If you don't have someone in this middle seat here, we do have the armrest along with 2 cup holders, and you'll notice right in the center console area, there are 2 air vents along with a USB port, and there's a little bit of storage behind the passenger seat. These back seats also fold down. They have a 60-40 split to them. So if you need to use that extra room, you have the option to do that. And last up, we'll go ahead and take a look at the rear trunk storage space. My favorite way to open up the trunk is to use the hidden button on the top side of the Hyundai badge. So you can see there's a label here for the new owner in order to figure out where this is. All I have to do is push on the bodywork there and it automatically opens up. This is a really nice integrated feature to see, and it cleans up the rear end by not having a button that is visible. So I really like that added feature. But now that we're in the back here, you can see there's a good amount of storage space with the back seats up. And then on both sides, we have the releases for the back seats. So when you go ahead and fold those down, you have a lot more storage space to put in any larger items that you need to. So it's really nice to see that versatility in a vehicle like this, and then we can easily close up the trunk. So getting the 2021 Hyundai Sonata out on the road now. This is actually the first time that I've been in this generation Sonata, and I'm really blown away with everything on the interior. Hyundai has been making some really nice vehicles over the last few years, and this is no exception. I love seeing the digital gauge cluster. We have the screen right in the center that has all the information that you need with nothing that you don't need at the same time. Really nice layout for all the climate controls, and it just has a really premium upscale interior to it. We have all this leather, suede on the seats. It's just a really nice layout and design. So I love that aspect to it. Hyundai, again, has been making some really excellent vehicles, and I even love the exterior styling. We have some aggressive contoured lines here and there just to give it a really unique look from the exterior. But let's go ahead and talk about what it's like to drive this vehicle. I've had it in normal mode right now, and as you would expect, it's very normal. It's comfortable with the sport tune suspension that the N Line gives you. And coming around this left-hand turn here, for a sedan like this, I mean, it handles well going at normal traffic speeds here. So I really like that aspect to it, and these notches on the steering wheel just give you a really good grip. So let's go ahead and, of course, test the different driving modes. We're gonna go into Sport Plus, where you'll see the gauge cluster light up red, where from second gear, we'll give it a little bit of gas. Wow. So this has over 300 pound-feet of torque, as low as 1600 RPM, and you can feel it. That, wow, not even anything crazy. And we're up to the speed limit just like that. Now, it's not loud. It doesn't have a crazy exhaust to it, being more of a family type sedan, of course. But this is almost a straight sleeper. You have performance in this Hyundai with the N Line. If you don't opt for the N Line, I believe it's just a naturally aspirated 4-cylinder. But with this, you get the turbocharger, and that's impressive. In Sport Plus, these shifts are incredibly smooth. Wow. And like I said, nothing crazy for a brand new vehicle, but wow, if you own this and you can really step on it, that's impressive to see. Hyundai's, like I said, Hyundai's been killing it. This is an awesome sedan to be able to check out. I love the interior. It gives you a lot of space for your backseat passengers. As you saw, I had a good amount of room at 5'10", so you can put full-size adults back there if you need to, of course. So this is a great daily driver if you're looking for a vehicle that's not going to break the bank. This competes with some other models that I would say are in a higher price point range. And then moving on to overall visibility, it's really easy to see all around. You can look over your left shoulder, look over your right shoulder. There is plenty of glass in this vehicle to see basically 360 degrees, and there's even small windows in front of these side mirrors, so that gives you a little bit extra visibility, which is of course nice to see. And talking about these seats now, they've been very comfortable. I love the bolstering support that they have to them, which is of course nice. This is a very comfortable vehicle to drive, even with it in Sport Plus. The Sport Tune suspension absorbs bumps really well, and it's a great ride for this car. But I think that's gonna wrap it up for my walk-around review and test drive behind the wheel of this 2021 Hyundai Sonata N Line. Once again, massive shout out to Lake Norman Hyundai for providing this vehicle for me today. Make sure you guys check out their website. That will be down in the description below. And if you enjoyed today's video, give it a huge thumbs up. Consider smashing that subscribe button if you want to stay up to date on our daily uploads. I'll see you guys in the next video.